talk to both of you at the same time and make sure that both of you are hearing the same thing from me. First of all, I want to say I'm sorry for and how your relationship has turned out. I'm also sorry that these precious children are suffering. Uh, and so that's what I want to say first of all, and then second of all, I just I think over the last week or so, the conversations have been around just been around, man, who is to blame and who did what and who. But first of all, I want to say, man, listen, all of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, which means, man, all of us have had a role to play in everything that has happened in your life, in my life. And so, what I'm sensing is you guys are suffering from some deep shame. Shame about how things went, shame about um, how much how much of a role you may or may not have played. And it kind of shows up in how, you know, one of you might be like, well, the other one did this and I didn't really, and it's like, yo, there's no reason for you to be ashamed. What happened happened. My role and our role as a church is to come around you and to help you to fix the situation. Ain't nobody on nobody's side. We're here to fix it and to help fix it. But as I was, just been praying and been thinking about y'all, been thinking, man, you're suffering from feeling ashamed about what has happened. And I just want to give you a word of encouragement. This one comes from Genesis chapter 3, and it's the first time that Adam and Eve sinned. Um, they're feeling some deep shame. And God comes and he asks them, hey, man, what are y'all doing? And in Genesis 3, like around verse 9, the Lord God called to the man and said to him, hey, man, where are you? And then in verse 10, he said, I heard the sound of you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked and I hid myself. So he's hiding, and she's going to say that she's hiding. And, whenever you're feeling ashamed, man, you don't want anybody to look at you. So you say, look over there. Because the next 10, he'll say, and he said, I heard the sound of you in the garden. I was afraid because I was naked and I hid myself. He said, who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten of the tree which I command you not to eat? And then watch verse 12. The woman whom you gave to be with me, she gave me the fruit of the tree, and I ate. And then the Lord God said to the woman, what is this that you have done? The woman said, the serpent deceived me, and I ate. And you see, even though each of them was responsible for what they did because of the shame that they are experiencing, they're having a difficult time really saying, it was me. And he says, then the Lord God said to the serpent, and he's going to go on to curse the serpent, but then he's going to go on to make her childbearing hard, and he's going to go on in verse 17 to make Adam's work hard because of this. God comes back and does something phenomenal in verse 20. Because even though he punishes them, he he addresses the shame that they might be feeling. Because in verse 20 it said the man called his wife's name Eve because she was the mother of all living. In verse 21, and the Lord God made for Adam and for his wife garments of skins and clothed them. What is he saying? He's saying, man, he took animals and tore them apart. And as the blood was rushing out, he took those animals that he killed and made clothes for them to wear, so that they were no longer naked and ashamed. They no longer had to hide from God and put on those terrible fig leaves that you could see everything that was going on. They no longer had to blame each other, because now they could feel good about themselves. And so God clothes them. And whenever you feel ashamed, I want you to know that God will clothe you. This story continues, and thousands of years later, the second Adam, Jesus Christ, is on a cross and he's naked, no clothes. And the people are shaming him and making him feel as if he's inadequate as he's on that cross. And that's what the cross was designed to do. It was an instrument, of course, of punishment, but it was also an instrument of shame for the person who was on this cross, was to feel humiliated in their last moments. And so here's Jesus on this cross, not because of sins he committed, but because of sins I committed and you committed. And listen, he's there feeling the same way you must have felt when you felt like this relationship has been torn apart, where you felt the guilt and the shame that's associated with not having quite met whatever standard you think there is. And here's Jesus taking your place on this cross, being naked and ashamed, and taking the full wrath and penalty of God so that we could be clothed in the righteousness of God, so that we can wear the garments and stand before God unashamed. Y'all, God will clothe you if you will let him. But you've got to surrender and realize, man, this is the mess that I made. And I might not have made it alone, but I made it. I chose to do what I wanted to do, not heed God in his voice. And I'm here. And y'all, while it's not right, it's okay. Because God will clothe you in his son Jesus if you will surrender. So no longer will you have to walk around in shame about this. You can walk around in honor, knowing that God is clothing you. God will clothe you. All right? So listen, y'all, I want you to spend some time thinking about what I've said and come out of this better than you came. We've got work to do over the next few days. It's not going to be easy, but man, you can't run away from this. You can't allow the devil and the adversary to have you sitting back thinking that we didn't have a part to play. Listen, y'all both chose to leave your home in Indiana, to get these kids together, to get on that road and to come down here and to try to make it as a family. Now listen, y'all ignored a bunch of things down the road, the things God has called us to do. One, if we're going to be sexing, we got to be married. Y'all decided we're going to live together and we're going to live out a covenant. All of that, man, is water under the bridge. At the end of the day, man, I want you guys to realize that this is God calling you to grow your relationship, your individual relationship with God, so that you can then raise your children and whatever else He's got for you. So I just wanted to put this in front of you, and of course I'll call y'all, but I didn't want either of you to say or think that I think any less of you, and I also wanted you to know that what I said to one, I'm saying to the other. So once you've listened to this, I want you to text me back, let me know that you heard it, and then we'll get going on what it is we said we were gonna do. Okay? We got to stop the he say she say. It's over. All right, peace.